Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Mahe Ramadh'an Reflections Part 5. A selected translation of Ayatollah Misbah Yazdi's commentary on Dua al-Iftitah. The sins of the servant and the permanence of divine grace. After identifying God's favor in giving the permission of presence before Him, the supplication then seeks forgiveness and mentions divine attributes and expressing one's wishes. فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي وأقل يا غفور عثرتي. So listen, O all-hearer, to my words of praise. Reply my prayer, O all-merciful, and overlook my slips, O oft-forgiving. All of a person's body parts, from his eyes and ears and all apparent parts, including his heart, sin against God. With the same blessings that God has bestowed upon a human being, he wages war against him and sins against him. Now, such a servant wants to get close to God and address his wishes and also hopes for their fulfillment. Such an expectation that a person has from God does not correspond with his behavior and sins, and it would be befitting if God turns away such a servant from himself and forgets him due to his sins. However, not only does God not banish his servant from his door and turn him away, rather, he invites him to go to him. In a hadith al-Qudsi, God states, "If my sinful servants knew how much I long for their repentance and return, they would die of yearning for me." If a person pays attention, he will find that it is God's greatest favor that he has granted his sinful servant the permission to ask from him, and he also fulfills his wishes. فَكَمْ يَا إِلَهِي مِنْ كُرْبَةٍ قَدْ فَرَّجْتَهَا وَهُمُومٍ قَدْ كَشَفْتَهَا وَعَثْرَةٍ قَدْ أَقَلْتَهَا. You, O my God, have relieved so many of my grievances, dispelled so many of my sorrows, overlooked so many of my slips. وَرَحْمَةٍ قَدْ نَشَرْتَهَا وَحَلْقَةِ بَلَاءٍ قَدْ فَكَكْتَهَا. Spread over me many of your mercies and unlocked so many rings of misfortunes in which I was detained. The reality of dua is in the attention of the heart to God. Dua is not merely the verbal pronunciation of some words and observing specific etiquettes. The reality and spirit of dua is the attention of a person's heart to God. The intensity and scope of this attention depends on the extent of a person's love and knowledge of God. Before praying, and even while praying, a person should consider the attributes of God, especially those attributes that have been mentioned in the text of the supplication, and the favors and blessings that God has bestowed on human beings, so that he may understand his relationship with God better and attain more presence of heart.